hold its agents accountable for their brutality. But the MAGA movement lacks any real moral compass. That's why I was shocked to see Fox News of all places turning on its own after the state-sanctioned killing of Alex Prey. This morning, Maria Bartiromo did something I never expected. She confronted Representative James Comer on air, raised her voice, and directly called out the cruelty and criminality of Trump's administration. It wasn't just pushback. It was a full-blown rebuke live on Fox News. And she's not alone. Democrats who once stood behind ICE funding are now changing their tune after witnessing the horror of Prey's death. The political tide is shifting. But before we dive into Bartiromo's confrontation with Comer and how she put Trump's legacy on trial, I want to start with a major announcement from Representative Adam Schiff that shows Democrats are finally ready to fight back. And what, if any, role can Congress play? Obviously, the government could partially shut down again on Friday if Democrats vote against this DHS funding measure. My question for you, Senator, are you prepared to vote against DHS funding if it means partially shutting down the government again, coming on the heels of an incredibly long shutdown? Well, I'm not giving ICE or Border Patrol another dime. Given how these agencies are operating, Democrats are not going to fund that. The government will shut down if Republicans insist that be joined with other government funding. It will be a Republican decision. They understand we're not going to go along with this. And we hope some of the Republicans in the Senate may see those scenes in the streets and be as repelled as we are and vote against that continuation of violence also. But if they don't, it will be their decision whether they couple that funding for these ICE agents and Border Patrol agents with all these other government agencies. They will make the decision. And they're in the majority if they want to shut down the government so they can perpetuate this violence. But I'm not going to be a part of it. And I think anyone who votes to give them more money to do this will share in the responsibility and see more American cities. More Americans die in our cities as a result. It shouldn't have taken a second death at the hands of ICE for Democrats to finally start listening, to finally hear what people in Minneapolis have been shouting for years, what communities across the country have been demanding. But only now are they beginning to fight with even a fraction of the courage those protesters have shown from day one. And the delay in deploying the National Guard to protect those protesters, absolutely outrageous. There's no excuse for why Democrats in Congress can't show the same bravery in casting votes that regular people are showing in the streets, risking their safety, their freedom, even their lives. It's beyond frustrating that we haven't seen that kind of courage from elected leaders or from most journalists until now. Something is changing. Just listen to Jonathan Karl pressing Scott Bessant. A moment we rarely see before we even get to what Maria Bartiromo did next. There are a lot of paid agitators who are ginning things up, and the governor has not done a good job at tamping this down. Yet. I mean, as you know, he was an ICU nurse, worked for the Veterans Administration, and there's no evidence that he brandished the gun whatsoever. In fact, it appears disarmed before he brought a gun. Have you ever gone to a protest, Jonathan? I mean, we do have a Second Amendment in this country that Jonathan, have you ever gone to a protest? Have you gone to a protest? I've no actually as a reporter covering it. Okay. I've been to a protest. Guess what? I didn't bring a gun. I brought a billboard. Okay. Secretary Besson, thank you for joining us. Coming up, we'll have This is a real shift, a complete change in tone. We just haven't seen this kind of pushback against Trump officials, especially not from journalists who usually let them spin freely on the Sunday shows. It's rare and it's important. And seeing it happen on Fox News, that's what really caught me off guard. Maria Bartiromo of all people went after James Comer hard. And honestly, good for her. She tore right through the usual talking points and called out the lies for what they are. Another individual is dead at the hands of Border Patrol. Let's be clear, we do not know if there was any pushback from this individual who was armed. We do not have evidence that he was waving a gun, doing anything to threaten Border Patrol. He had his phone and he was shooting. He was viewing and recording the incident. That's what he was doing, recording the incident. What is your reaction? And you are an elected official. What can you do about it? Well, look, I don't think there's any question a majority of Americans want President Trump and ICE to go in and apprehend the criminal illegals. That's what President Trump campaigned on, and he's doing exactly what The shift in tone is unmistakable. Maria Bartiromo is, and I say this knowing the bar is underground, a cut above the average Fox host. She and Brett Baier aren't Jesse Waters or Laura Ingraham. There are moments when she actually pushes back on Trump, like when she questioned him about tariff-driven price increases at Davos. But what I saw today was something different entirely. She has clearly been shaken by what happened yesterday. And how could you not be? 6 federal agents wrestled an innocent man to the ground. But Alex Prey wasn't just innocent. He was heroic. He wasn't a passive bystander who happened to get caught up in something. He saw a woman being forced to the pavement and sprayed with mace by federal agents simply for standing in public, and he stepped between her and them. He placed his arm around her to shield her, and for that they ended his life. They took everything from him while he was actively protecting someone. That matters. Of course, no scenario justifies the state executing someone in the street, but he was carrying out an act of bravery when they killed him. I had a conversation with Graham Plattner yesterday about who we can actually reach in this moment. Think about the people who've spent years saying, "My Second Amendment, my Second Amendment." Every time children are massacred in schools. Charlie Kirk literally said, "We just have to accept some gun deaths to preserve the Second Amendment." Those people, the ones who claim to care so deeply about their right to bear arms legally and publicly, like Alex Priddy, who had a lawful Minnesota permit, who wasn't brandishing his weapon, wasn't reaching for it, wasn't threatening anyone. Can we reach them now? Some of them, yes, because some of them truly believe what they've been saying, but others, they've only ever used the Second Amendment as a rhetorical shield to avoid taking action. They don't actually believe in resisting government tyranny. If they did, they wouldn't be the just comply crowd. Just comply. Trust the government. Back the blue. These same people refused to trust scientists during a pandemic. You can't tell me to wear a mask in a grocery store. That's tyranny. They wouldn't take basic precautions to protect their own grandparents. But now it's trust the government when they say the VA nurse was a domestic terrorist brandishing his weapon, even though it's all on video showing the exact opposite. That's the contradiction that Maria Bartiromo is clearly wrestling with. And that tells me there are people who genuinely hold these beliefs about government overreach and Second Amendment protections who are watching what this administration is doing and recognizing the lies they're being told. Look at the absurdity. The administration says you have to announce your firearm to ICE agents, but they also say someone yelled gun and that justified killing Alex Prey. So you must announce your gun. But if someone says gun, that's grounds for execution. And if you don't announce it, they kill you for carrying concealed. It's a lose-lose designed to justify whatever they want to do to you. People who are acting in good faith on these issues, and I'm not giving Maria Bartiromo unlimited credit here, she's still a Fox host. But the tone she took with James Comer today was a marked departure. She's clearly angry. Anyone who genuinely cares about Second Amendment rights should be angry. They should be shouting at Republicans. They should be saying, Trump's agents committed murder, executed a man in cold blood, then walked away. One agent literally applauded as he left the scene. If you believe in your Second Amendment rights and want them protected from government overreach, this should make you furious. That's why Bartiromo's tone matters. A lot of Fox viewers heard that this morning. She took a similar approach with Kash Patel. That's going to resonate. I genuinely believe this is a shifting moment. Democrats need to seize it. Shut down the government over this. We have the leverage. They're killing people in the streets. They're stripping away First and Second Amendment rights. And they're funding these armed thugs by gutting your healthcare. Where did our ballooning budget come from? From closing rural hospitals. From cutting programs that will cost 50,000 American lives. And that's before counting who dies at ISIS hands. That's the message. Healthcare cuts funding the 5th largest standing military force in the world to execute American citizens on American soil. If Fox hosts are angry, you'd better believe there are enough Republicans and independents who feel the same. Every Democrat should be united on this. Every single one. Which brings me to Tom Suozzi, the Democrat who voted to fund DHS. I posted the clip of him dodging a reporter's question about why he voted to let DHS run wild. Read my statement, he said. I put out a lengthy statement. To hell with your statement and to hell with you. This is a man who's admitted he doesn't read the bills he votes for. He just listens to lobbyists. He's not a progressive. He's not even a fighter. You don't have to share my exact politics, but you have to be willing to fight fascism. There are corporate Democrats in the Senate who understand the moment we're in and are stepping up. You don't have to be a progressive to have a spine. But saying, read my statement when people are dying, that's nothing. That's worse than nothing. I can already imagine his response. Well, I regret that vote now. Oh, you regret it now. After the second death, one innocent person killed wasn't enough. One execution and you're still voting to fund the executioners, but two. That's where you draw the line. The line should be 0. No Americans murdered in our streets by federal agent. We have to primary these people. Push them out. They will not keep you safe. So, yes, I'm going to say it. Shout out to Maria Barromo today. Holding it down. That's the tone we need from everyone. I'm shocked it came from Fox, but we're bringing that same energy here. If you want to support this kind of coverage, hit that subscribe button and leave a like on this video. If you made it to the end, drop a blue heart in the comment. Keep fighting. Don't let them silence you. Until next time.